All right, so when you go to Padlet.com, you can sign up for free using your school email address, and then this is your dashboard. And the way you make a Padlet is you just click right here. And the one I like the best for like having students respond and connect with each other is this Canvas one. So if you want to start out here, that's probably where I would, especially if you're like asking them a question at the end of class where you want to see what if they've met the learning target or they've grasped whatever you wanted them to understand that day. Just a really good way to get all kids participating instead of just, little conversation where the same kids raise their hand. This way every kid participates. So when you click this, it gives you, here's what your welcome screen is for your new Padlet. Your URL address at the top, this is what you share with the kids. You just stick this link in Schoology or send it to them however you send them things, and this brings them right to this Padlet. Here you can title the Padlet whatever you want. I usually put the question that I'm asking them here, and then the description is usually what I put, however long I want the response to be, or if I want them to connect to a classmate as well. There's a lot of really cool wallpapers, so if you don't like the one they automatically you can choose from tons of these and change your wallpaper just to keep it fresh. Attribution's pretty cool because when the kids go to Padlet, they can easily sign in with their Google, and then when they make a post, it will just show their name at the top, just like it shows ours at the top. So when we make posts, like it has my little Gmail picture and name here. So that's easy for keeping track of who's commenting, who's posting. If you want them to be able to comment on each other's posts, you just put that over there. And then the reactions, they can like or vote on each other's posts. Personally, I don't really activate this ever because I've found that the kids get way more focused on liking each other's work, adding stars or likes or thumbs ups or whatever, than they actually care about reading what their classmates wrote. So I don't usually use the reaction often. I also don't use the require approval that often because it sticks a bunch of pads right in this one area, and you have to approve them before they show up. And it's just kind of a pain in the neck. It's really easy to delete a kid's entry if they write something off topic or something you don't want up there. So I just look at it while they're doing it and kind of just approve it by that way. And then I usually do the filter profanity just to be safe. And it's funny, if they try and put a bad word, it gets replaced with a nice emoji. So then you click next and you're ready to start. So you hit start posting. So now here's your pad. This is the URL where the kids will respond. Where you'll share the link with them. And then whenever a kid or you wants to add a post, you click around here on this little plus. It gives you a post. If they sign in, their name will be right here. If they don't, you could just tell them to put their name in the title, and then they put their response, whatever you want them writing about here. Here's what's really cool. They can upload photos or images or docs or PDFs or whatever. They can add a link. They can go to these three little dots here and they can record themselves. If you want to differentiate that way, where they don't have to type their response, they can record their response. The same type of differentiation, they could record an audio of themselves. If you wanted them to teach each other a concept, they can record their screen here, like I'm doing right here. So a lot of cool ways for them to demonstrate their learning without just typing a response. So that's pretty cool. And then it's all housed right here, so they'll be able to see all their responses. And when this board is full, it's pretty cool. So then when they're done, they just click over here, and now their entry's right here. If someone wants to comment on theirs, they just click that little comment thing there, and the comments are down here. You can add a comment. Great job. Okay, and then that shows up under here, so they can click on this and see, oh, so-and-so said a great job. They can see each other's comments. When another student adds their response, they just go down to that little plus. They will be able to see their classmates' entries as they're entered in real time because of the way this everything's housed in this one area. So, name number 2, this is my other student. They put their response here. Again, they have all these options for how they want to respond. If they don't want to type, if they want to record a response, whatever you've asked them to do. If they need to upload a doc here, but then when they click here, their response is now on the pad. And what's really cool is they can go to these little 3 buttons here, and there's this connect to post feature. And if you click this, they can connect to another post, and it draws a little arrow that stays no matter where that post goes. Just such a cool way for them to look at each other's responses and find commonalities. That's a great learning strategy to have kids try and organize similar responses with their peers. And it's just neat for them to look at each other's and see if they can make connections and explain them. And then if a kid does put something inappropriate, like I said, you don't need to use the approval. You can just click this little delete button and that'll delete their post. And then you can tell them to try again, or you can, tell them not to. Again, when you're done, you can go into here. Sorry, not there. Go into your little settings here. And if I want to give them a grade for this, what I normally do is, all right, I'm going to get it right one of these times. So if I'm going to give them a grade for this, I can, but I want to use this same pad for my other classes, I can export my responses. And for me, the way I like to do it is I like to save it as a PDF. Actually, I'll do this, or I'll do an Excel spreadsheet. But what it does, or honestly, you could, I've never done the image, but you could totally do that. But I always just save it as a PDF file and you publish it. And then I have this copy so I can see the name of the kid, what their response was. And if I want to give them credit for this at the end of class, super easy way to see if the kids met the learning target and give them credit for responding. And everybody responds. It's not just those same kids responding every time. And then if your other kids are coming back in and you need to clear this out because you want them to be able to talk and use the pad, you go back to these little 3 buttons, click clear all posts. It's going to ask you to enter this code. And then it's clear, and your next class can come in and use this. So that's a really easy way for the kids to respond, look at each other's responses, and connect with each other. 2 other ways I've used this is, one, I've actually loaded content in here. So I've added a note, and I put a title, please watch, and I've given them directions. And then I'll go to the link and I'll add a YouTube video that I want them to watch. And then I'll add comments and I want them to respond, or maybe I want them to respond somewhere else. And then I can add another link over here, and I can say, please read with a partner. And right here, I can upload a PDF of a file I want them to read. And then I can have them respond below, or I can have them respond, I can have them respond in the comments on this post, or I could have them right here, or I could have them respond somewhere else. So I've loaded a whole unit on a pad before, and the kids just work their way through at their own pace, or they choose 3 out of 5 activities. So it's a really great way to differentiate and meet them at different levels, because you can, like I said, you can do videos, you can do pictures, you can do artwork, you could do text, you could have them read something. This would be great in an art class. You could put up some different styles of paintings and have them look at it and comment on whatever you want them to look for. And then another really cool thing is the kids can collaborate. They can create their own Padlet, and they can add content. If you want them to add a picture of something, and you want them to find a website with evidence of blah, 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 or you want them to add their writing as well, and they can share this with each other, and it's really cool. So you could have the kids work in groups to collaborate and create kind of this this pad with all their what they've learned, the objectives they've met, and then they can share it with each other so easily by click the share button. It gives them a QR code, which is so cool, and then they just hold their computer up, and the same way they use it for our little restroom passes, and they use their QR reader, and boom, it takes them right to their classmates' pad, and they can read it and give them feedback and learn from it. So really cool tool to get them to respond to questions I have. It's a cool way for me to add content for them to look at and explore, and it's a cool way for them to create content themselves and demonstrate their learning. And then when you go back to your dashboard, you'll see I got my one Padlet here. There's 4 boxes because they only give you 4 at a time, but like it's super easy. You can just delete the Padlet once you're done with it. You know, if you exported your responses to a PDF, you don't need to save this Padlet forever. You delete it and then you got your 4 more. So it's kind of like you have unlimited pads. Really cool tool for collaboration with the kids. I'm definitely using it a lot this year.